This podcast is brought to you by West ARIES, Advancing Recovery in Ireland Education Service. Due to COVID-19 restrictions, we're offering recovery education in alternative ways. West ARIES is supported by HSC, Midwest Community Healthcare, Mental Health Ireland, and communities across Limerick, Clare and North Tipperary. Welcome and thank you for joining us for a discussion on thinking positively. My name is Eileen Cunningham. I'm the manager at West ARIES, and I'm joined today by two of our Recovery Education Facilitators, Margaret and Angelina. Hi guys.
Hi, how are you?
Hi Eileen, how are you? Hi
Good.
Angelina, how are you?
Well, no.
Good. So thanks to the two of you for being here. Today we're going to be talking about thinking positively and positive thoughts. In a recent survey we did in the Midwest, people requested tips on minding their mental health and how to stay optimistic rather than getting caught up in the doom and gloom that we're seeing in the news and hearing in the media every day around the COVID-19 pandemic. And also then in our Building Resilience modules, we explore how positive thinking can have an impact on our behaviours and can increase positive feelings. So today I just wanted to have a chat with you guys to see what your thoughts were around that and for your insights into thinking positively and being optimistic at a time that people are finding challenging. If that's okay with you.
Yeah,
Perfect.
brilliant.
Let's go.
So the first kind of place we were going to start off with, I guess everyone has been advised to social distance and stay at home, and people are working from home. Some people maybe have lost their jobs or are maybe not seeing as many people as they've previously seen. So it might be hard for people to stay positive. And we know that it's normal to have some negative thoughts with so much uncertainty at the moment. So the first question I have for you is if there's anything specific that you're doing every day to kind of check in on your thoughts and to keep perspective around what's going on. So we might start with you, Angelina. Do you have anything specific that you're doing?
Yes, actually, it's an app that was recommended through you, and it was lovely. It's called Mindshift. What I can do is I can track my mood with it, so whether I'm okay, good, great, bad, awful, and it also asks me my level of anxiety from 1 to 10. So by using this, I can track my mood, how I'm feeling every day, and if I start dipping down, then I'll increase my self-care, and I'll do more self-care things, to keep on top of that and to not end up falling into that kind of, crisis of maybe depression or anxiety. So, or I do have a certain level of anxiety, but it's kind of maintaining, my mental wellness really. There's mindfulness and meditation recordings on it, and they're only a few minutes, so they're lovely and short and easy to do. And there's also positive thinking tools, such as coping cards, that say things like, I don't have to believe everything I think, which is a great one for me because often stuck in my head. So, and yeah, it also has actions to lift my mood. So I'd highly recommend that. And also it's made in Canada, so, it's got to be good.
Oh, okay. There's a push for the Canadians there. So that's the Mindshift app, was it?
Yeah, okay. I find it very, very good. Yeah.
Perfect. Sounds like it has a lot of good practical tools and practical resources that people could use. So thank you, Angelina.
You're welcome.
And how about you, Margaret? Is there anything that you're kind of doing specifically every day to check in with yourself and to stay on top of maybe negative thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it's quite similar actually to Angelina, and it's guided meditation. It just works for me. It helps to calm me down. It stops my brain from, going down rabbit holes, overthinking. It relaxes me, helps me to sleep better, and also allows me to kind of, take that step back and to keep things in perspective. Because at the minute, I feel that we're kind of, sometimes you can kind of fall down those rabbit holes. There's no footholds, and you're kind of, you're overthinking everything. So it gives you that moment to stop, breathe, and kind of move on. So yeah, quite similar to Angelina. Now, guided meditation and mindfulness, I think for some people, they may be aware of it and they might be thinking, oh, look at, I've heard of that before, it's hippie stuff. I'd say give it a try. It doesn't have to work for everybody, but certainly, as I said, it's worked for me. I got into it through yoga. couple of years
Margaret,
ago.
is there somewhere specific that you get your guided meditations? Like I just look up YouTube and find one.
Yeah,
There might be other places.
There's loads of places. I mean, you can get it from, there's a great app called Insight Timer, and there's thousands upon thousands of guided meditations there, where you can actually search for specific content. So for instance, if you've got chronic pain, you can look that up. It will recommend some meditations for that.
Okay.
Also YouTube is a great resource as well. And if what I love about the Insight Timer one is it's free, and that's what I always try and look for first, because I know that people building by and large have kind of good intentions when it's kind of freely available. Another good one is Smiling Mind as well. That's another very good app. And the other thing is, and I really, for me, it's so important, is to try and remind myself to smile and laugh and have a joke. It's hard at the moment, but it's so important that we do that we find joy somewhere in our lives. I think we can really focus on the negative, because there's a lot of negative things happening. But if, for instance, there's one person that sends me almost on a daily basis stupid, silly, funny videos, and
it's my mother.
It's your mother. Well, there you go. She's doing the right thing for your mental health, because I've gotten to the stage now. It's almost like Pavlov's dog. I'm expecting it, and when it doesn't come, where is it? But it's kind of different because it's being sent directly to me rather than being posted on social media. Do you know what I mean? When you're on social media, you've got posts coming up and it's in your feed. And I've really tried to stop that as well, in terms of just the whole kind of social media thing, just putting that into context.
I think, I suppose, as well,
that.
For people, like if you're receiving something on your phone, or you're receiving something from somebody that makes you smile and that makes you feel joy, make sure you pass it on, because that can then have a knock-on effect for other people.
Yeah. Connects us in this crazy time, and it's a real moment of connection and just silliness. So that's it.
Okay. Thank you very much. So some kind of really good practical things there, and specific things as well that people are doing. And with the guided meditation, like you say, someone might hesitate about doing it, but you can start off with really short ones and build your way up if you find that it's something that does suit you over time. You don't have to sit down and start with 45 minutes of guided meditation.
Well, I couldn't do meditation on my own, I'll be honest with you, because I'd be too distracted. So I need that voice in my head to literally
keep you focused.
Yeah,
perfect. And that can help clear our thoughts as well. So with that, and when it comes to our thinking, I know myself, I sometimes look at situations and think, well, I can't change this, but I can change the way I think about it or how I look at it. And I think try to accept what's inside of my control and what's outside of my control, that I can do nothing about that. So with the current climate, and based on your experience, do you have any advice for people who maybe are feeling a bit overwhelmed by maybe negative thoughts, or some of the negative news, or the news that's impacting them that's going around at the moment? So some practical advice or advice for people who are feeling a bit overwhelmed.
First thing is to avoid negative news. Just check in once or twice a day to reputable sites like HSE, see if there's been any updates, but do not go down the road of reading news report after news report. Some of the stuff from tabloid papers, online papers, is load of nonsense, and I know it is. So just be careful, think about who the source is. So HSE is obviously a brilliant one. That's the one for our country and everything. And been a lot of talks and things, and I was thinking about looking at them. I thought, no, it's just going to actually upset me and depress me. And, that's not helping anybody. The only way we can help others is to be in that place of, peace of mind and calm as much as possible. So also, negative thoughts do sometimes creep in. And what I've been doing is Qigong, actually, from YouTube. And sometimes I do 10 minutes, sometimes 20, sometimes 30. There's loads of different ones. And the difference between when I start and when I finish, I'd go from being anxious and worried to being calm and happy. And I don't know, how it works, but I suppose it's just like doing such calm, relaxing movements and using my body. It just gets every part of myself. So that's how I kind of go from negative thinking to kind of positive.
Okay. And do you find, so with the Qigong, is that a mix of kind of movements and you're doing a bit of mindfulness as well? Or
It's
for people who maybe don't know what it is?
Yeah, Qigong is, I'm sure more people have heard of Tai Chi, which is a martial art. Well, that's when you use the energy and you push the energy out to use to defend yourself. But for Qigong, it's actually building up your core and the Qi within your body by using these movements to kind of bring the energy in and back into yourself. And the woman that I follow, I cannot think of her name now, I think it's Andrea or something like that. She's quite popular on YouTube, and she does all this tapping as well, so of your body. So it's kind of releasing the energy as well, and it's just, some of the movements are so beautiful and flowy. It's almost like you're being a fountain, and I think it's that gentleness. But you will realize you've done an exercise the next day, though. Okay. You might think, oh, this is so very slow and relaxed and everything, but I know my muscles have been used because I've been feeling
and that's
it.
Good if you're stuck in the house. It's good to be moving your body a bit as well.
What popped into my head there was the power of the present moment, just being in the present moment. I've been watching quite a bit of Eckhart Tolle, or Tolle, I'm not sure how his name is definitely said, and it's all about kind of letting go, because what often causes anxiety or depression can be thinking about the past or the future. And it's like letting go of those things and just being in the moment and going, I'm here, I'm grateful, I'm breathing, I'm alive, have a roof over my head, I have food in the cupboards, and focusing on those things.
Exactly. Practicing gratitude for those things. And Margaret, would you say, is there any advice that you would give people maybe that are feeling a bit overwhelmed at the moment as well?
I couldn't agree more with Angelina around the kind of information overload that we're all experiencing at the moment. I mean, I'm terrible with news and the kind of 24-hour news cycle, whether it's TV or apps or, so I've really needed to rein myself in and again, put a bit of perspective on it. And Angelina, again, is so right. Just trying to keep information that you need and making sure that you get the right, sources for that you're getting the right information. But also I really consciously try to seek out a positive news story every day. And there's plenty of them out there. And I think actually RTE, to be fair to them, I think they've done a really good job. They have a lovely section on their website and on their app where, and it's probably through social media outlets as well, but where people can actually send in videos like positive messages. So, whether it's, bingo on the balconies in Dublin or, people dancing in their kitchen, they just make you feel good and you realize that you're not alone. And I know that's hard to, a lot of people are self-isolating at the moment. I've been self-isolating only for the last 14 days and I feel like I'm climbing the wall. So I can't imagine what, some people are going through right now. But one thing that struck me, I was Fergal Bowers, the RT news correspondent, does a lovely kind of roundup of the week's news and his personal perspective on it every week. And he made a lovely reference. It was a lovely analogy to the fact that we all seem to be climbing Mount Everest at the same time together right now. And it's really important because that we all hold together, because I hold the rope for you and you hold the rope for me. And that just gave me chills. And that's absolutely true. So it's trying to reduce the amount of the negative stuff that's coming in, but also see the humanity, see the great stories of kindness and resilience that are coming out. And then finally, and I think it's a big one, and I really consciously try to do that for myself, is to give yourself a break and acknowledge how you feel. And if you are feeling bad, if you just getting up in the morning and having a shower and doing a walk around the back garden is as much as you can do, well, that's as much as you can do. Sometimes you have days where you're going to have bad days, so accept and acknowledge that sometimes you're going to have you're going to feel bad, that it's a hard time right now, and above all else, breathe, because I think breathing's been really important for me, because when you're in that panic mode and you're in that cycle of negative thinking, you forget to breathe, and that's when you don't make good decisions, because you're not, your thinking brain isn't engaged. So I'd say just, those big deep belly breaths are really important.
I think taking the time and actually stopping and taking your conscious deep breaths,
exactly,
slowing those thoughts down so that you can think rationally. I think, Margaret, you mentioned that image there of us holding a rope for each other, climbing up Mount Everest. Sometimes when negative thoughts are coming in, it's to have a power. For some people, it mightn't be words or meditation. It could be to have an image that helps them slow their thoughts down and think of something positive.
Oh, exactly. And that's actually, it's funny, because once I read that gave me that image. It put that image in my head, and I really took great solace from that. It just did. It just put it into perspective. The whole world, there isn't one person on this planet that really hasn't been affected by this. So we have an opportunity to be kind to ourselves and to each other. And I hope that we remember it when all this is done, because it will be done at some stage.
So it won't last forever.
No. Strangely enough, things do pass.
Well, that is,
and it will. Just make sure you're here to enjoy it when it happens. Yeah.
So there's some brilliant practical bits of advice again, and tips for people to kind of reduce information overload, to stop, give yourself a break, accept how you're feeling, maybe find something online as a way to maybe have physically move yourself or come out of your thoughts and do something.
Yeah, and I just wanted to say, with Qigong also, you do in-breath and you move your arms up and then out-breath down, so it's kind of a breathing thing. And I looked up her name, it was Adrian, it's yoga for beginners. It's called
Brilliant.
Yoga. So just anyone's interested.
Okay, that's good to know. So it's Adrian.
I'm definitely going to check her out. I have to, Angelina, definitely.
So this conversation is absolutely flying. So really just to maybe wrap it up in terms of positive thoughts and our thinking, we hear a lot about the power of positive thinking and how our thoughts can influence how we behave and how we feel. So when I say the phrase, the power of positive thinking, could you sum up in one sentence what comes to mind for you when I say that? I might start with Margaret this time and then go on to Angelina. One sentence.
One sentence. Yeah, I suppose just going back to the idea of kind of falling down the rabbit hole. So I suppose positive thinking for me provides me with like kind of footholds to get out of that rabbit hole, and to recognize that there will be a tomorrow without COVID-19, and I really want to make sure that myself and my family are in good mental and physical shape to enjoy it. So that's it.
Thank you. And Angelina, summing up in one sentence, the power of positive thinking for you.
For me, it's seeing the silver lining, which in this case is how people are really stepping up to the plate to help each other, our frontline workers, neighbours, there's community groups, and that just gives me faith and hope in ourselves and humanity, and that, yes, we will get through this together.
Really positive. And it can be hard to have that hope, but when, like you say, so many people are volunteering now, so many people are willing to help other people, and perhaps it's a good change for our society as well to see that and to see people willing to step up to the plate for other people, because we all want to keep ourselves safe, but we've got to think about society as a whole as well. So thank you, Margaret, and thank you, Angelina. So we have reached the end of today's chat. Obviously, I'd just like to say thank you to you two again for joining me, and thanks to those who are listening for taking the time to listen to us. We hope that you got something from today. I'll be back with other facilitators to discuss other topics over the coming weeks. But I think a few points that we can probably take from today would be to use tools that we already have, or to maybe try something new, like the Mindshift app, or using a guided meditation to reduce your information overload, and make sure that you're listening to news from reputable sources, because you can't control what the papers say, but you can control what you read. And to give yourself a break, accept how you're feeling, and to remember to breathe. And ultimately that there will be a time that's after COVID-19, and there will be a tomorrow. So they're pretty much the main points. Have I missed anything, ladies?
I think you've done an amazing job summarising. You've been actually taking notes, have you?
No, not at all. Just been listening really closely.
Thanks. No, it's great, and thanks for actually being brave enough to start something new like this, because I know it's something new for Midwest Aries, and I'm thrilled as a passionate podcast addict. I am thrilled that Midwest Aries is going down this road. So,
well, we have to look at alternatives.
First of many.
It will be, hopefully, if you want to host the next one.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, thank you very much, ladies.
Thank you for joining us today. You can keep up to date with more resources and courses on Midwest Aries Twitter, Instagram and YouTube accounts. And remember to access hsc.ie or gov.ie for accurate information regarding COVID-19. For now, from us and all in the Midwest Aries team, stay safe and take care.